What if you could watch global power shift through one asset? Gold? From 1957 to 2026, gold reserves tell a story of wars, oil shocks, currency collapses, financial crises, and rising new powers. In 1957, the United States dominated the world with more than 20,000 tons of gold. But decade by decade, that dominance changed. Europe defended its currencies, emerging economies built protection, and countries like China, Russia, India, and Poland began rewriting the map of gold power. Between 1963 and 1970, the Bretton Woods system came under serious pressure. The U.S. gold reserve fell sharply, from around 13,860 tons in 1963 to about 9,839 tons in 1970. At the same time, Germany, France, Italy, Switzerland, and the Netherlands became major gold holders. Events like the Vietnam War, sterling devaluation, the Six-Day War, and the collapse of the London gold pool showed one thing clearly: confidence in the dollar gold system was weakening. Then came the turning point. 1971. The Nixon shock ended the dollar's direct convertibility into gold. By 1973, major currencies moved to floating exchange rates, and the old monetary order was effectively over. The U.S. still held the largest reserve, but its gold stock kept declining. Meanwhile, oil shocks, the Yom Kippur War, global recession, and stagflation made gold more than just a central bank asset. It became a symbol of protection against monetary uncertainty. From 1978 to 1984, the world entered a period of inflation, oil fear, and debt crisis. The Iranian Revolution, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, the Iran-Iraq War, and the Volcker interest rate shock changed the global economy. Gold prices reached historic highs in 1980, but official reserves in many Western countries fell. Germany, France, Italy, the United States, and the Netherlands all recorded declines. During this period, gold was not just stored, it was revalued, debated, and strategically managed. Between 1985 and 1991, exchange rate politics took center stage. The Plaza Accord pushed the dollar lower, the Louvre Accord tried to stabilize currencies, and Black Monday shocked financial markets. Gold reserves remained concentrated in the US and Western Europe, but new movements appeared. Taiwan, India, and the Philippines increased holdings, while Canada, Portugal, and Belgium reduced theirs. Then in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, creating new central banks and a new reserve map. The 1990s brought globalization and instability. The crisis, Mexican peso crisis, Asian financial crisis, Russia's default, and LDCM panic all reminded governments how quickly confidence could disappear. In the data, Germany, France, and Italy show large increases between 1992 and 1998, while Belgium, Austria, the Netherlands, Canada, and Australia reduced their reserves. This was also the decade of the Euro project, as Europe prepared for a new currency and a new reserve identity. From 1999 to 2005, the euro arrived, and central bank gold sales became more coordinated. The Washington Agreement on gold limited European selling, but Switzerland still reduced its reserves dramatically, from about 2,590 tons in 1999 to around 1,290 tons in 2005. The United Kingdom and the Netherlands also fell. At the same time, China began to rise, increasing its reserves from roughly 395 tons to about 600 tons. The dot-com crash, 9/11, Argentina's crisis, and the Iraq War kept gold relevant. Between 2006 and 2012, the gold story changed direction. The global financial crisis, Lehman Brothers collapse, the Great Recession, and the euro area debt crisis pushed central banks back toward gold. Russia rose from about 401 tons to nearly 958 tons. China increased to more than 1,054 tons. Turkey, India, and Saudi Arabia also added significant reserves. In 2009, central banks began shifting from net sellers to net buyers, marking one of the most important changes in modern gold history. From 2013 to 2019, gold reserves became a geopolitical strategy. The taper tantrum, Crimea, China's market turmoil, Brexit, Turkey's currency crisis, and the US-China trade war all increased uncertainty. Russia made the biggest move, rising from about 1,035 tons in 2013 to more than 2,271 tons in 2019. China also climbed strongly, reaching around 1,948 tons. Kazakhstan, Poland, and Uzbekistan joined the accumulation trend. Finally, from 2020 to 2026, gold returned to the center of global strategy. COVID-19, inflation, supply chain shocks, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, banking stress, Middle East conflict, Red Sea risks, and high interest rates all pushed governments to think about safety and independence. China rose to about 2,322 tons by 2026. India reached around 881 tons, and Poland made one of the strongest jumps, reaching almost 596 tons. The message is clear. Gold is not just history, it is still power.